find yourself in the middle of the Black Mark meeting. So, I guess you know what? Why don't we do a little intro? So I'll just
All right.
say on after one, three, two, one. Hey everybody, Chev, your host and DM here. We're doing a little side episode here. Well, a side stream. We're gonna tack it on to the third episode as I edit it. Ottovon, PJ, missed the last game of Solstice, so we were going to give him a chance to go through and kind of recap what happened to Ottovon. Uh, in the meantime, I deliberately was very vague about what was happening with Ottovon last session so that we could do something like this. And so we'll go ahead and get started. PJ, are you up to date on what happened in the last campaign then? You were hauled down here into the Snake Den Passage and questioned by Dragthar.
Yes, and if my memory serves me well, Ottovon was on his way, being led somewhere with either his hands tied behind his back, being dragged around and roughed up by a
You're no
particularly
no hands behind your back. It was just a bag over your head, and then you were
oh
strong
drag-
armed down the passage.
by a particularly aggressive kobold.
Yes. And now that we have you here, you will answer. What are you doing here?
And I do believe it worth noting before we dive in that I am still disguised as a human.
Yes. That's. We'll pretend we're just gonna leave your token the way it is.
All right, perfect.
Okay.
All right.
All right. So you're here, and Dragthar is questioning you, and you're kind of muttering out answers for for why you're here, when suddenly you see a familiar face
I'm
step through the
here
crowd.
because I'm one of you guys.
The bag's off your head now.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, yeah. So the
I'm
bag's
here
off your
because
head,
I'm one
and
of your guys. The guy at the guy who tattooed the dot was dyslexic. You can't blame him.
you know not how the black mark works. Dragthar says as he kind of turns to and talks to Kelgion and Sam a little bit too. As Dragthar is talking to all of you, you see a familiar face step through the crowd behind Dragthar, and she comes out and she says, "Ottovon!" And do you want to describe what she looks like?
Yeah, she would be a half elf, about 5'5", attractive figure, blonde hair, piercing blue eyes, very fair skinned. She grew up in the caves and tunnels of the Dominion. And how is it that she recognizes Audubon?
Um, oh, that's right. Because of your disguise. Um, well, I'll leave it up to you if you want to come up with a reason why, but I forgot that you were disguised last time,
I
and
just
so
said so.
I know, but
Oh,
I just didn't connect the dots.
I see. Okay.
So
Then did you say that so does Dragthar have any abilities that would allow him to pierce the disguise, or do we want to say that
it's a good
the
question.
uh the Audubon was dragged for the tunnels for a very long time,
Yeah, let's look real
and during that
fast. Let's look at Dragthar's sheet. Dragthar spells. Thaumaturgy, Burning Hands, Suggestion. This is the problem with making Dragthar a player, but Codeman really wanted to. Okay. Um, okay, you know what? We're gonna just retcon a little bit to make this work. That was my bad for forgetting last session that you were disguised. So let's just kind of start over, and then I will do a fresh recording for the podcast. But should we just say that Dragthar can see through your disguise for now, and I'll make up a reason why later?
Yeah, well, there's a few things we can say. We can say that they were dragged through the tunnel for a lot longer than just, 5 minutes. I mean, find me a
Oh, does it
mine where
only
you can
last
get from.
5 minutes?
No, no, it lasts an hour, but I'm saying that we are acting as though they got from the point they were at
Gotcha,
to
gotcha.
wherever they are now in 5 minutes. If more time elapsed while there was the bag over Ottovon's head, he ostensibly could have reverted back to his original form while he was being led,
What is
which would
so?
have let.
This is disguised self, right?
Hmm.
Okay, you can
Yeah,
see the
lasts an
changes
hour.
wrought by this spell fail to hold up to physical inspection. For example, if you use this spell to add a hat to your outfit, objects pass through the hat. You know what? They've already seen through your illusion because they're grabbing you, they're holding you, they're touching you. So everything, all that's illusory about your thing is like is pass through.
I would think that that would only apply where his physical dimensions are being changed. But if his physical dimensions are the same and he just has the face of a human, unless they touch his ear or something and feel that he has elf ears, they're not going to be able to tell the difference.
Let's see. For example, if you use this spell to add a hat to your outfit, objects pass through the hat. So your clothes would be enough. They're
Oh,
as they grab you, your clothes would be if you change clothes. Unless I guess you're wearing, are you wearing the same clothes?
no, he would have changed his clothes for sure because he was in Dominion professional garb.
Yeah, that's what I
And he.
figured. So
Okay.
this is perfect. So when they grabbed you then in the first session, or excuse me, the second session of Solstice, they immediately realized that you were disguised and you dropped the disguise because it was pointless. How about that?
Okay. Deal.
Dragthar doesn't necessarily know who Ottovon is, so that's fine, but Naya would.
And Dragthar might. Audubon's not an unknown.
Yeah. Okay, so back to the game. A
So
familiar
let's
face steps out of the crowd, and she says, "Ottovon!" And then you see and you recognize Naya, who you described already, and she immediately begins asking you where you've been and how you've been.
now, Mr. Tiefling, this is an unusually low level that you're stooping to, even for you. I don't know how you know what you know, but bringing up phantoms of the dead. Look, there's different ways that we can talk about this. You
You're
do
talking to
not have to be.
Dragthar?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Dragthar turns. I know not of what you speak, elf.
Elf? My
Half
name is
elf,
Ottovon.
whatever. Whatever
My name
you
is
are.
Otto. Hey, let's not get racist here. I'm a diplomat in the
I do not
Dominion.
care of your race. It's irrelevant to me. I do not know what you speak. I do not raise any dead.
You did not raise any dead. Then what the hell is she doing here?
He looks down. He sees Naya, and are you pointing at her?
Uh, g- gesturing toward her with my head.
Okay. Well, it's a big crowd, but he turns and he sees Naya, and Naya is also a half elf, right?
Yes.
Okay, so maybe he makes the connection exactly. That's who you're pointing to, so that's fine. He turns and he's what of Naya? Naya is a well-known supporter of Black Mark, a
Naya
devout
was
supporter.
Naya was executed 3 years ago in the Dominion caves. I watched it happen.
She runs up to you and kind of gets between you and Dragthar, and she says, "Ottovon, don't take it out on. It's not his fault." And
Uh,
go ahead,
you're an illusion. Stop talking to me. Now, what is she doing here?
Ottovon, I survived.
How did you survive?
I didn't die. I didn't die when I fell in the pit. I was hurt. I was badly hurt. But I was rescued. Blackmark rescued me.
How were you rescued?
They found me in the pit. There are secret tunnels that lead to the pit. We cover them up when they're not in use so that they're not aware of them. But anyone gets pushed down there and survives, we try to find them and we pull them out.
And how do I know that you're real? How do I know that you're telling the truth?
Ask me anything, Ottovon.
All right.
I've been waiting for this day.
Show me the scar on your lower back.
She does so. See, nothing has changed, although I have additional scars.
Naya? Is that
Ah,
really you?
I tried to tell you! And then she jumps up and hugs you.
Yeah, and he cradles her face and embraces her back.
Okay, and you guys step off to the side while Dragthar kind of dismisses you now that someone has basically essentially vouched for you, and lets you go converse with the person you care about, and then approaches Kelgion and Sam. After a while of talk, do you want to? Do you have more to say while you guys are hanging out here in the crowd?
No, it depends on whether Naya wants to just make small talk, in which case that can all be skipped, or whether she is questioning or trying to explain to Ottovon the importance of uh, purpose of Black Mark. I mean, it really just depends
Do you
on
have
what.
questions for Naya? That's really all I was asking.
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. So while you guys are hanging out there, Naya talks a little bit. It's kind of loud out here, so she kind of lowers her voice, but not too low, so it's not drowned out. But you can hear what she's saying, and she just talks about Dragthar is the one who saved me. He's transformed Blackmark into what it is now. I believe in his cause, Ottovon.
That's what you were telling me inside your cage before they threw you down the pit.
He wants to overthrow the Dominion. The Dominion are not friends to us. Look what they tried to do to me. And wait till you
Yeah,
hear what
they're
they try to do to him.
well, I mean, I know that there are definitely a few problems in there, but I don't think that the whole thing needs to be toppled. It's I mean, it's the classic story, the kobolds and the others. And
Ottovon,
I've always
Ottovon, please tell me you're not so brainwashed.
brainwashed. No, I see what I've seen with my own two eyes. The
Ottovon, you,
kobolds.
you see what Queen Nera wants you to see.
What? I don't trust Queen Nera any further than I can throw her. She's another kobold.
Exactly. Trust me, Ottovon. Stay
Well,
here. Stay here with me. Listen to what Dragthar has to say. Decide for yourself. Use
uh,
logic and reason.
that's what I'll do. That's what I plan to do from the very beginning. But yeah,
Wonderful.
uh,
Okay.
you never
As
would
as
take
you
no
guys are
for an answer.
talking, Dragthar's been not talking over the group. It is important that we rally together, that we fight for the same cause. If we want the freedoms of for our people to do as we please and have the resources we require, and he just keeps going on and on and on. Being very vague, never really touching on the actual issue until you guys are back in the hideout. I'm gonna make this link shareable here. Can you see the green pin?
I don't see a thing. I don't even have a map up.
Oh shit, my bad. You should have been seeing this map.
This is so simple in terms of
Yeah, it's not a
what's going on that I
it's not
haven't
a
really
huge
had
deal.
to. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we had you two head inside while he's talking. Clearly, she's heard the spiel before, and she doesn't. She's just there for support of any potential new members for Black Mark. I'm gonna go ahead and do you see the green pin now?
Yeah. Yeah, I see it.
Okay. You can click that to open up this new map. I'll force it open for you too, just to make sure. Can you see it?
Oh, that's cool. Yep.
Okay. And are you zoomed in on this part that you can see?
All I see is okay. Now I see something. Before it was just a grid.
Okay. But you can see this little tavern area that we're in.
Yeah, nice. I like that this is like a British underground tavern. This is good.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this map over this other one.
Speaking of British underground taverns, I do happen to be drinking a porter right now, and for all the listeners who reside in the Southwest, try Sex Panther Porter from Santam Brewery. It is
Are we gonna
delicious.
get some kickbacks from that advertisement?
One can only hope.
All right, so you and Dragthar walk in, and immediately upon entering, you see two kind of seedy-looking guys in the corner over here at this table here. So right as you walk in, out in front of you to the right, is a little table, a half table that's kind of against the wall with two chairs. Two seedy-looking characters sitting there playing cards together. There's another dude, a big bird, Aarakocra, who is standing right here, just kind
Okay.
of arms folded, leaning back up against the wall. Very imposing presence, and he just kind of glares at you as he walks in. Dragthar gives him a look, and he straightens up and then kind of nods to Dragthar in acknowledgement. You guys walk past through this doorway, and Dragthar takes a seat with you at this table. There's tons of people in here. There's a few halflings hanging out on these boxes, just kind of drinking and being merry. And over here, there's a couple half elves and one halfling. I'm trying to remember everything from that last session. But anyway, pretty much everywhere is full except for this table over here. Um, and Dragthar sits down and says, with you and Naya, who's right here. I just don't have a token, so she's in that third seat. And Naya just says, "Come sit with us, Ottovon.
All right. What are we drinking?
What's your pleasure?" And Dragthar says, "You may have whatever your heart desires." And he takes a big gulp of the mug in front of him. He's clearly had some already.
All right. Have your bartender bring me a Sex Panther Porter, if you will.
Oh God! A what?
A porter, a beer.
One beer coming up. And this little dude, this little halfling dude, runs around the corner with this a big tray that he's carrying empty drink glasses on.
And have them serve me a healing potion while I'm at it. Your fucking kobold guard really roughed me up.
And Draxar says, "You do look a bit rough." And then he turns around and he snaps his fingers and points, and this one elf dude stands up and walks across the room, and he's kind of got these dark robes on and these glowing eyes, and because the robes shadow his face, and all you can kind of see are his glowing green eyes. And this elf steps forward and he just says, "Yes, sir." And Dragthar says, uh, "My new friend here, Ottovon, could use some of your specialty." And he nods and he comes over and he looks at you and he just says, "How do you feel?"
One specialty, please.
And he kind of gives just like a little like sort of half grin, like just very light amusement. But then he touches your shoulder, and this green energy surges down his arm, and then kind of just washes over you in like a green mist. It like cools your skin as it goes, and you instantly start to feel a lot better. And you look at your skin, and a few of the little marks and scratches from your struggle immediately begin disappearing, fading.
Oh, good. It feels like my ribs are back where they're supposed to be.
You can change your health to full.
Nice.
And Dracula just says, "We can't be too trusting. You understand?"
Yeah, apparently you can't be too gentle either.
um, and then Naya just leans across and she just says, "How did you find me, Ottovon? How did you find Blackmark?"
Well, truth be told, I'm not quite sure. It would take a while to explain it. I was on a mission to silence this, let's say, ex-worker of the Dominion. His contract was terminated, and so I was going to help him down the road. Let's put it that way. And the next thing I know, instead of meeting up with this guy, I meet up with some changeling, and he gives me this intelligence or some report of a black mark meeting taking place
Ottovon,
tonight.
Ottovon, are you telling me you are an assassin?
Of course not. I cannot believe you'd say something like that. This is embarrassing, especially coming from an assassin like yourself.
You're telling me you were gonna take him down the road? Yes.
Yeah, you know what? Let's not worry too much about that guy. Let's focus on what's important here.
You don't
I met with
understand how
this,
brainwashed you are, Ottovon.
says the person who was trained to be a sleeping assassin.
Sleeping assassin?
Yeah, I don't, I haven't forgotten what your job was going to be.
Is this true, or are you trying to lie to her?
No, no, this is true. Her job was going to be to hook up with old nobles and
Okay.
kill them after the deed.
Okay. And she just says, "Well, I left before I did any of that."
Well, you left because you didn't really have much of a choice. They threw you down a pit.
Yes, Ottovon, and you're defending them.
I'm not defending them. Uh, to put it simply, they just need a change of leadership. You don't have to eradicate the whole thing.
Anyway, continue with your story.
So it turns out this changeling knew a lot of information that whoever our contact from Wilhelm was didn't. And part of it was this meeting tonight. And I remembered what you said to me the night before you were executed. So, or night before you appeared to be executed. And so I thought I'd come take a look. I did not plan on observing it this closely, but I mean, you saw what happened.
She just sits and thinks for a moment, and she just says, "Well, Ottovon, Black Mark seems to be a force that fights for what we stand for, what we want the Dominion to be. They want to reform the Dominion. Right now, it's an
Uh,
authoritarian society that. Are you interrupting?
yeah, I was gonna say before you start. I mean, are you changing your story now? Before you said you wanted to destroy the Dominion, now you're saying you want to reform it. So which is it?
Well, overthrow the Dominion, the leadership. We don't just mean that you took that to imply destroying the Dominion.
Yeah, the Dominion's a kingdom. I don't want to see it. And I mean, you need to never forget where we are from and who we are. We are
Ottovon, they threw
others.
me in a pit.
The kobolds threw you in a pit. You are an other. You are not a kobold.
Yes, exactly. We want to overthrow the kobolds, Queen Nera, all of it, and make it for our own. And Dragthar says, "Here, here," and he puts his mug out, and she looks for a sec. She's kind of distressed and very emotional. He's very drunk and happy. So it takes her a moment to lift up her mug and kind of like quickly, almost dismissively clink her mug against his, and then he turns back to laughing with a couple of halflings who've come up to his side.
And I raise my glass to that as well.
Okay. And so she.
I
Do you say
agreed.
anything else
I
to her?
agreed. I agree with you to that extent. The leadership needs to go. I mean, we have some of the bravest
Then you want what we
individuals.
want, Ottovon. You want this. We want the same thing.
It's true.
Don't believe
But
Queen
maybe
Nera's lies.
I never have. I mean, what? How big of a sap do you take me for?
I don't know. I
Just
haven't
because I
seen you in a
represent,
long time, Ottovon.
just because I represent her doesn't mean that I believe her. She's a kobold.
Then stay here with us. Fight for us. Help me.
There's there's a serious problem with that.
And what's that?
That does not match my skill set. I am not a fighter. You are a fighter. I still remember the time you
We
cracked
need we
five
need
kobolds.
we need people of all kinds, Audubon. We need diplomats, we need fighters, we need anyone that can be useful to our cause. This is a big deal.
Yeah, but you forget how you are perceived. Perception's reality, and you are perceived as a rogue terrorist organization with a penchant for kidnapping, extortion, and uh, mass murder, if I
You
remember
you
correctly.
you don't understand. And she looks at Dragthar and she stands up and she kind of walks over behind him a little bit and she leans down and whispers into his ear. And then she turns to look and she sees. Let me get the. Let's see. So Marina, Laura, Violet. Oops, Violet. Lou. So these guys are all coming in from outside, still filing in, taking their seats. Um, he's down here in this corner. Who did I miss? Keljan. Sam Blade, he's in here too. Okay. I think that's everyone. Okay, they all file in. She turns around, she looks, and she sees all these new faces. And she leans into. She finishes talking to Dragthar, and then kind of goes back and sits down. And then Dragthar stands up and he says, "Hear me, all of you." And the music kind of stops a little bit in the background, and people stop talking, and they hush, and they look up at this imposing, huge, red-skinned tiefling, who's just still glowing with like kind of some of that solar energy, like heat energy coming off of him, just kind of radiating like a light heat. It seems like every time you're around him, and he says, "Everyone, hear me, Black Mark. We are here to fight the Dominion. We exist to fight the Dominion. No more are we thieves and criminals and a haphazard band of bandits bound to be arrested. We have a cause. The Dominion is a force, and you now all get to understand why. I have yet to tell you what I know of the Dominion. The Dominion plans to seize the water of Withelm. They plan to seize control of the solar planes. You think our lives are bad now? Wait until the Dominion has control over the most scarce resource in our land. We right now enjoy an abundance of that resource thanks to cooperation, kingdoms cooperating, exchanging goods. But the Dominion finds that their mineral supplies are no longer in demand. When they perceive this as a threat, they've known this is coming for years. This was part of why they tried to burn me alive. Come, help me stop the Dominion from taking control of the water." And everyone kind of, yeah, they all start screaming, woo! And Naya just looks at you, like curiously, like wondering what you think of that news.
I shrug my shoulders. I'm like, well, comes as no surprise. Knew that things were getting scarce.
So you knew the Dominion was planning to do this?
Did I know that the Dominion was planning on doing this? No, I didn't. But am I surprised that they are? No, I'm not. I mean,
Doesn't it not seem obvious that the Dominion is your enemy? Did I lose you? Hello? I think I lost you. Do 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 do.
back. I love it when that happens.
I never heard your reply to her.
Oh,
Nothing. You didn't say anything.
yeah, no, I said, I am Dominion. It's a point of national pride. But like I said, the leadership does need to be changed. But here's the deal: even though I'm on your side, I can't be seen on your side. Does that make sense to you at all? I mean, you never were a diplomat. You never were part of the
Why are you
part
planning
of
to
the.
go back?
I don't. I want to help, but if I
You would
start
leave me and go
representing a
back
terrorist
to those
organization
who
and
would throw me in pits and plan to steal water from innocent people? You would do that, Ottovon?
no, I definitely want to work toward a change of regime, especially if I could be toward the top of that regime.
Well, then
That
here we
sounds nice.
are. Stay here with
Yes,
us.
here is the problem. I don't. Are you and I even speaking the same language? Would it
Apparently
help if I
not.
spoke Elvish to you? I have no power as a dominion for a terrorist organization. I am much more valuable to this organization if my allegiance to it is unknown.
Did you just
So
call
I
us
can't stay
terrorists?
here. Say again?
Did you just call them terrorists?
Yeah, I've been calling them terrorists this whole time.
Yeah, that's what she says. Did you just call us terrorists?
Oh yeah. Uh, I thought you were asking me out of character.
Well, I did when you kind of came out. It's fine. Go ahead.
It's as I was trying to explain to you before, perception is reality. And so until the black mark has a little bit more legitimacy,
We've done
I can't
nothing
help
wrong.
you.
I can't help what rumors you may have heard, but we haven't done anything wrong.
Now, the lion would disagree.
You mean him? She points over to Kelgion across the way.
Are there any other lions in this room?
uh, what are you accusing Blackmark of doing?
Uh, Black Mark had quite a reputation for criminal activity. And so until there is a little bit more legitimacy in this organization, there is nothing I can do on behalf. I'd be arrested as soon as I open my mouth. And so what I'm proposing is that yes, I return to work as a Dominion diplomat, or at least I appear as a Dominion diplomat until this organization has a higher standing. And this is for you, Mister Tiefling with a lot of passion.
So he's standing out in the middle, still kind of everyone's still kind of cheering him on. You two are kind of talking
Oh,
underneath that, all of that.
gotcha. He can't hear me, so I'm gonna look to her. And besides, there is nobody who can militarily match the Dominion at the present time. You don't know the kind of preparations they've been making. Of course, the official story is that this is all on account of King Wilhelm's building of a wall, an attempt to withhold the water.
King Wilhelm is paranoid because he keeps finding us in his territory, assuming we're Dominion, and then freaking out.
Yes, my point being is that the Dominion is mobilizing. And their pretense for mobilization is that the Wilhelmians are going to withhold the water. And so they have all of the minerals. And they've been developing armor. I know that from a military standpoint, Wilhelm can't compete. Neither can Trilesta. You get if it came to battle on an open field, Black Mark would be erased in an hour. And so I'm not sure
This is why
what
we
the
have to move in the shadows. We do not have the might of these other kingdoms, and we don't have an army, but we do have intelligence. We do have people who know how things work. We're a scrappy bunch. We're out here actually doing things while others sit on their asses waiting for something to happen.
get the tiefling over here. I can help, but I can't help in an official capacity, not yet.
So all the cheers start dying down, and the music kind of kicks back up, and they start they just start celebrating that they're basically gonna enact whatever plan Dragthar has to prevent the Dominion from doing what they plan to do. And he comes and sits back down, and just after you guys finish this conversation, well, what do you think, Ottovon?
Well, it's like I was explaining to my old friend here. I support your mission to the extent that it is changing the regime, the ruling regime of the Dominion. The leadership there has been bad, and it's a society that only serves one race. That said, I can't help you in any sort of official capacity right now because, no offense meant, but you're still viewed as a collection of criminals. And until you have a little bit more legitimacy, I can't be I
Ottovon, my
cannot.
friend. Do you want to know how I plan to get that legitimacy?
Yeah. I didn't know you already had a plan in place.
By finding people like you, kind hearted individuals who care about others and think they should have the right to have water if supplied to them, the right to breathe the air. You care about freedoms, you care about people, you care about Naya. And he puts his hand on her shoulder, and she just kind of smiles a little bit. And he just says, we need people like you, Ottovon, to lend us legitimacy. We need to build a reputation of being kind hearted people who care about something.
As much as I appreciate the rainbows and butterflies that you're describing right now, that doesn't stop me from being seized and thrown in jail if I were to say that, yes, hi there, I am Ottovon and I'm a diplomat for this criminal organization. Maybe you've heard of it. It's called the Black Mark.
We're not asking you to be the face of Blackmark, Ottovon.
What are you asking me to do?
Just join us. If they happen to find you, then we'll make up some cover. But we're not going to let them capture you. We don't work alone. We work as a team. Did I lose you again? I think I lost you again. You didn't reply to that. Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I just had to grab an extension cord, a charger, and kind of fix my setup. But I'm back in.
Okay. Yeah, so did you hear the last thing she said to you?
I heard so I dropped off when he was said, "I don't need you to represent us. I just need you to join us."
That was Naya saying that.
I thought that was
Naya jumped in
the
and she said, "We're not asking you to be the face of Blackmark, Ottovon." Sorry, I know I'm having a hard time doing the voices.
Oh, that's okay. Nor could I be. If you're just asking for my support, yeah, you have it. But I'm more of a nuts and bolts guy. So as far as specifically what I can do to help, my hands are kind of tied at the moment.
I just thought you were saying you want to go back to the Dominion.
Yeah, no, I must not have been explaining myself very clearly, but um, while I support, like I said, while I support the others of the Dominion, I certainly have no love for Queen Neral or her band of kobold thugs, and
So
I
you
long.
will stay with us then?
Okay, define stay. When you say stay, are you meaning like literally live here, or are you just saying
Well, I mean, yes, we live here. We fight for a cause. We can't have you. If you go back to the Dominion, it would be under Dragthaw's direction, and it would be to our benefit in some way.
okay? So yes and no. My absence will surely be noticed. So if Dragthar wants me to be of any use whatsoever, I can't actually stay here very long.
How
But
long do you
yeah,
have until you will be found out to be missing?
probably only a day or two. I was
Then
supposed to
stay
be
the
with him.
night. Then stay the night.
Uh,
You can decide in
uh,
the morning or tomorrow if you want to. If you want to go back, you can talk to Dragthar and decide if it would be a good idea to send you back. Maybe it would. I don't know.
well, I can tell you right now that it would be a great idea to send me back before my absence is noted, and I'm of no use to anyone.
Dragthar catches the last little bit. He keeps turning around to talk to other people, and he's just laughing, and he's definitely kind of drunk at this point. But he catches that last bit, and he just says, Ottovon, why do you want to return?
Um, well,
What
I
is waiting for you there?
work. I am a diplomat. My job is to rub elbows with important people.
You work
And
here.
so,
I've just agreed that I will talk to King Withelm on behalf of the Wakuda family or on behalf of Blackmark, and talk to Withelm and the Wakuda family, and that we might ally ourselves with Withelm on this good cause.
that would be great. I would fully support that. That would be a move that would grant you much legitimacy. However, until you are actually allied with Wilhelm and you have the protection of a larger kingdom,
You're interrupted by all of a sudden you hear no, and you hear the pitter patter of tons of feet running through this door right here as they come pouring out of this door, and then a whole group of people filling this room to the brim, shoulder to shoulder. People desperately running through the portal, trying to funnel out, but everyone's being bottlenecked and backing up, and this room's completely full. As you see this one guy turn around, and he looks back and there's more people behind him, but he just says, "I'm sorry," and he slams the door and locks the latch, and he comes inside, and poof, the door shakes as water seems to hit it from behind, and it's coming through the cracks. You hear the door kind of splintering, and that's where we'll leave off.
seeing how much water is coming in here, I don't know if your relationship with the Wilhelmians is as good as you think it is.
We'll pick up right there next time.
Cool. We got through pretty much everything that was missed.
Yeah. Is there anything we need to correct or anything?
No, no, I think that that went well. I think that
Me
there
too.
was a little bit of confusion on part of Dragthar and Naya in turn, and maybe and Ottovon in that.
Yeah, well, and also, I meant to give you two time alone inside once you got through the portal, and then I kind of skipped a thought and put Dragthar right in there. He was gonna come in later, but it's fine. I don't think it'll be that noticed by the after I edit it and put it together.
No, and I mean the main recording, I should call it, episode 3 proper, if you will. Just kind of showed them like friendly chatting at the table and everything. There wasn't anything terribly specific or significant that was going on. It appeared to be small talk.
What did?
Most of the conversations going on between Naya and Audubon. But
Really?
yeah, this
It
is
didn't sound like small talk to me.
well, there were 3 points, well, maybe 4 points where he appeared. There was the conversation at the beginning that we filled in. There was the conversation regarding the 3 party crashers, which we kind of skipped, but as we discussed earlier, the finger across the neck pretty much summed it all up. And then there was the
Oh yeah, we
conversation.
didn't do that part.
No, but Audubon just would have said, "Yeah, I don't know who they are.
When I
They
edit
look
it
like
though,
troublemakers."
it'll seem fine.
Yeah.
I don't think we need to explain it. It's pretty clear what you're trying to say something, and it doesn't matter if they know or what you were trying to say or not anyway.
Nice. Damn, so many freaking options, dude. Like I have a feeling that this universe is about to ignite, which is awesome.
Yeah, and you know how you were talking about how you always had to start with the end in mind?
Uh-huh.
Wait till you find out how I got you here to this beginning.
I am so excited to hear that. It is a struggle to be a
I'm lost you again. Hello? I
quit, come back in,
know, I hear you.
everything works. But yeah, I was just saying, as a player, not being gifted with the bird's eye view, it's tough, but uh, also like, you can't. It's
I know it sucks. I have such cool stuff in store that I haven't told a soul. Oh, well, I told Nikki. That's the only person on this planet that knows what's coming in the campaign. Because she's the only one I can fucking tell since she doesn't
y-
play.
yeah. There are a few things that I hope to see as a player or hope to hear about, and I'm excited to see if they actually occur.
Do you want to share some?
Sure, sure. Well, I've kind of got this, I guess, World War, kind of a World War II um, image in my mind. This is quickly be like this is almost a multipolar meets bipolar situation where similar to Nazi Germany, the Dominion has an early advantage in terms of military might. And I know that historians often overstate it because once the larger Allied powers got involved, the Germans lost the edge and even sort of fell behind. But I mean, I imagine just Germany crashing into Poland in the First World War or in the Second World War, where they, had the brand new military hardware, 2,400 horsepower Stuka dive bombers, and what did Poland have? Little biplanes left over from World War One.
What are you making this
Yeah.
analogy to?
The comparison between Dominion military might and anything that Wilhelm or
Gotcha.
Trilesta can throw at it.
It's Trilesta.
Did I say it wrong?
You've been saying Trilesta and spelling it Trilesta with an I. There's no
Uh
I.
huh.
It's Trilesta. It's an A.
Trilesta.
Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Gosh, just to be that close was good.
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal. I just noticed that you've been saying try.
Yeah. If anybody else joins up the game, or if it is possible, they have to be Trilestan.
There's an Easter egg of where the name Trilesta came from. It's from the
Uh,
Next Generation. There's this
I knew it
episode.
was.
There's this. You did? How?
I think you'd told me before,
No, I haven't told you this before.
because I knew that Trilesta was TNG somehow.
No way.
Maybe, yeah, maybe you described the episode with the Trilestans in it, and then
Tell me then.
tell you what.
That describe the episode.
Oh, I haven't fucking seen it. I just remember seeing
Well, tell me back my
something.
description, or some of
I
it.
don't remember what your description was either. I just
I don't. I'm
remember.
pretty positive I haven't said this before. But anyway, there's this really like I don't even remember what the overall plot of the episode was, but I think this one group of this race wanted to join the Federation, and they're like the surviving clan out of all these clans after a bunch of like really gruesome clan wars or whatever. And so these clans are like supposed to be generations beyond that violence and ready to start anew in the utopia of the Federation, basically. But then they find out that this one chick was like genetically engineered to kill members of this other clan, and she's also like lived a long time and never aged. And so she's like still got all this old hatred or whatever, and so she's like hunting down members of this other clan, and she was so and so of the clan Trelesta.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I don't remember any of that description. I just remember some point you mentioned Trelesta associated with TNG, and when I saw Trelesta as a kingdom, I thought, oh, that's that TNG thing he was talking about.
Yeah, I think you're mixing up something else I may have said. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure I never said anything about that because this is the first time it has even popped into my head since I created it.
Hey, it's not like you said Borg Lesta or Romulan Lesta. I mean, it was certainly something I recognized from Star Trek, and I don't think I had it confused with any other race.
I don't know. Maybe you just remember the clan name from actually watching TNG.
I doubt it, because while I've watched many a TNG, I am not. I haven't gone season to season like you have. But yeah, we need some representation from that because I know that we've got a couple Wilhelmians. I happily represent the Dominion. But it'll be interesting to see. I'm
You know
just
what?
so
You know what's
excited for
gonna
what we
happen
have.
if anyone ever overthrows the King Wilhelm, right?
Uh, yeah, they're gonna find a prince to take the seat.
Yeah, you're gonna hear a Wilhelm scream.
Oh, gotcha. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Instead of Wilhelm scream.
Yeah, that's I mean, that's the most famous scream of all time. I still
Uh.
remember hearing it in James Bond and being like, "Yep." Like he how would it be to be an actor who is remembered for a freaking soundbite?
It's so funny. It's like some 1921 movie or something that it came from, I think.
Uh-huh. And the guy was probably an extra
It's
anyway.
like one of the world's oldest memes.
Oh yeah, yeah, it was a meme before there were memes.
Uh-huh, it totally is.
Yeah, I'm so the cliffhanger with the waters definitely got me on edge, but I'm super excited to like I don't know, like I see ripples, like all of this is going to have political consequences
Yeah, you seem
and
pretty convinced that Withhelm is responsible for this flood.
uh oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, if it was if it was an attack by the Trellestans, there'd probably be like wheat growing underneath our feet or something like that.
Wow. uh.
Or just a storm of falling halflings and other bumbling spies. That hasn't been adopted yet, but I really hope that Trilestans just have the worst of luck with espionage.
I think we could make a soundbite that would live as long as the Wilhelm or the Wilhelm scream.
Do I think that we could? Oh, heavens no.
Yeah, I think we could. I think if we did this one.
Ooh, nice. Should I just?
We put that over some guy in the background laughing in movies for as an Easter egg.
That would be, yeah, I would love that. That would be flattery. It'd be at 90.
Should I just? Ooh, nice. Should I just?
We just need to cut Rainbow out from the background.
Yeah, no. You know who's got an even better soundbite?
Ooh.
Bunsen when he says what when he finds out that I'm talking about power tools and my son.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Uh,
no, no.
introduce, introduce
Oh, my
yourself.
son is playing with power tools. And I
What?
just said the
Oh, what?
I think that is like the most reactive I've ever, the biggest reaction I've ever seen out of Bunsen because he's, typically a pretty muted guy, but that was like pure surprise and shock. It was wonderful.
Let's see. I'm gonna download that clip real fast, and then I'm gonna save it, and then I'll open it in Audition, and I'll clip out that little bit. We'll make a soundbite right now. Okay, let's see. Import. What did I call it? It was playing with power tools. That's right. There it is. Okay.
Oh no, no.
Introduce
Oh, my
yourself.
son is playing with power tools. And I
What?
just said
I can see the wave of it perfectly. What?
What?
All right, now
And then there
save
was one
selection.
other that you and I discussed today that had to do with something that Ottovon had said.
MP3. There we go. Okay, and then I'm gonna post this one in the tavern.
Do you remember what it was?
What?
There was something you and I were discussing earlier today, a soundbite that I thought, oh, you got to have this one. You're like, oh, I don't even remember that one. And it had to do with Ottovon.
Uh, was it the one that's in episode one where? Uh, damn it! I do remember we were talking about something. Okay, download. Bunsen. Nope, there's Bunsen. And I gotta change the color. There. Okay, you ready?
Yep. I
What?
just yeah. That's perfect. I
What?
just yeah, that's your Wilhelm scream right there. I
What?
just
She did what?
THC drop.
Oh, drugs.
Oh, drugs.
yeah, that was really funny.
I should clip out the oh drugs part of that one.
See, there was the part that he was talking about glue. That was really funny. I really enjoyed that. Your glue has a name?
I can't find the. Oh, there it is, right there. Oh, drugs. Oh, I already have that one out there. Okay, cool. Import. Oh, drugs.
She did what?
THC drop.
Oh, drugs.
THC drop.
Oh, drugs. Oh, drugs.
There we go. Oh, drugs soundbite. Oops, I spelled it soundbit. Oh well. Okay, then I download it here.
Man, I am racking my brain and I cannot remember what it was that I was trying to remember as a soundbite today.
I can't either.
Oh, found it. Remembered it when I thought about who it was that Ottovon was talking about or talking to. It was Sam Blade. With that clue, do you remember what it was?
No.
It was Sam Blade chastising Ottovon for trying to assassinate him, and Ottovon saying, "Yeah, I got you a drink afterwards. Get over it."
Oh yeah, that's right. We can find that one next, but here's this one.
Oh, drugs.
Alright, let's pull in episode 1 then, and I'll find it.
Yeah, it would
I
be
wish I could
probably.
pipe this audio into Discord for you as I scrub through it, but
I'll bet you it would be
uh,
40 minutes in.
Solstice episode 1. Alright, it's loading in.
Do you listen to podcasts at height and speed?
Depends on the podcast. I'm trying to catch up on this D&D podcast, so yes. I wanted to get it through it fast so I can catch up because I didn't listen for 6 months and there's a shitload to get through. But for podcasts I normally like and I want them to fill the time, I actually will run out of podcasts, so I don't listen to them at 1.5 speed.
Oh, gotcha. I usually am at like between 2 and 2.3.
Hey everybody, Chev.
Can travel. He can't hear anything. They
Oh.
can't.
Curly. Hey, Curly. You.
Let's
Penises
see.
growing
Yes.
back.
Curly,
Just
if I
bathe in
think
the
it's
water
if we're
and it will
talking to
regrow
Curly, we've
appendages.
gone too
It's
far.
still in beta though. I'm not. Okay, I think you're right. We're all just drinking and eating and whatnot. But one stands out to you. This one over here, if you can see my little arrow.
I remember
He
Curly.
looks like he's a
Son of a
human.
bitch.
He's dressed kind of in with Helmian garb, and he's wearing a blue cloak.
And I spot him. I'm
Okay, it's somewhere between. You watch them both get up and walk to the
Hey,
back and down the stairs.
quick
Yeah, the
suggestion I saw
second.
on one of the DM threads. I was
Uh-huh.
put like something on your desk to represent inspiration when you're DMing, like a quarter or something, so that if it's still in front of your keyboard, uh, like before the end of the episode, like move it. You know what I'm saying? Like give
Uh,
yourself a visual reminder to award inspiration at least once before the episode ends.
oh, do I always want to award inspiration at least once?
I think it's a good practice to get into because it gives you, it makes you pay more attention, looking for opportunities to award it.
I mean, I try to pay pretty close attention to you guys, but I could try it.
You know what? I'm just saying it's one of the practices that I noticed, and I thought, oh, that is a good idea. Kind of the same way that I don't think that you rob us of chances to speak, but I still thought it was a good practice point to try to split groups up to give everybody a chance to role play.
Yeah. Um, I think most of you have inspiration right now anyway. You should spend it.
Yeah, I do. I just haven't had an opportunity to do any roles. I didn't do any roles this one, and I don't think I,
That's true.
I
You
don't think
didn't.
I rolled
But
it
remember,
all last time.
that was basically the result of the good role playing rule. Were you you were here when I gave the rules, right? New rule list.
Yeah, yeah. Which is as it should be. Like, my thought has always been like if I've got this character completely at a disadvantage, not using the term of art, but just like where there's no way he should know that I'm lying, and I role play it
I pull out
convincingly.
my rapier and stick it.
Oh, sorry.
I love that quote. That one was funny.
What?
Shut up, prisoner.
Oh yeah.
Shut up, prisoner. And I pull out my rapier. I think I caught Buns or Deranged by surprise. That was awesome.
I want to get the shut up prisoner one out of there too.
Let's see. Episode 2. Okay, here's episode 1. It's loading.
That is true.
All right.
But I don't plan on running.
Shut up, prisoner. And I pull out my rapier and stick it in the back.
Alright, save selection as. How do you listen to it like that? Damn.
Okay, so it's going to be like between 115 and 120. So I can hear you clear as a bell.
Yeah, but it like ruins it to me somehow.
Shut up, prisoner.
Okay, what did you say between 110 and 115?
You're a piss poor spy.
Else may have paid you to use that name, but I had no involvement.
I missed that too. I forgot I said that.
What time index is that one?
118 and 49 seconds.
Okay. Dominion this time until you showed up, Sam. You just knew that your contact would recognize you by the blue cloak.
I didn't know my contact was going to be Dominion.
So you didn't know that your
I
contact
would
was going to be
suggest
from
finding a
Dominion.
different
You are
occupation.
a piss poor spy. I would suggest finding a different occupation at the very.
Cloak.
I didn't know my contact was going to be Dominion.
So you didn't know that your
I'm
contact
not
was
good
going
at
to be
assassinating
from
people
Dominion.
because
You
I'm
are
not
a
an
piss poor
assassin.
spy. I would suggest finding a different occupation. At the very least, you should know who you work for.
Oh, coming from you, the failed assassin.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Am I wearing a mask? Do I look like I kill people for a living?
Well, no, not with the way you do things. No.
I'm not good at assassinating people because I'm not an assassin. Those three incompetents down there were assassins. Apparently, we need to kick up our training program. I am going to speak to the queen personally because you never should have walked away from there. All that aside, let me get this straight. You've been spying. Who? So before you were spying for the Dominion, Before you were spying on Wilhelm, you know who you were working for?
Nope, I never do.
All right. And
I like it that way.
were you working as a guard? Good at assassinating people because I'm not an assassin. Those three incompetents down there.
I was so focused
Excuse
on
me.
trying to
Excuse
figure
me. Am I
out
wearing
what
a
was
mask?
going on with
Do I look
Sam
like I
Wade
kill people
that
for
I
a
totally
living?
missed when you
Oh,
told
no,
me that
not
there
with the
was
way
that
you do things,
the
no.
I'm
midnight
not good
meeting.
at assassinating people because I'm not an assassin. Those three incompetents down there were.
You do things, no.
I'm not good at assassinating people because I'm not an assassin. Those three incompetents down there were assassins. Apparently, we need to kick up our training program. I am.
Okay, what'd you say?
Where am I staying? Straight in town? Yeah, there's nothing here. I mean, you can stay wherever. Stay here.
And I'm not even sure.
One hit the other guy's inside. Does look like he put them to sleep, man. And he's like, Warzone uses action to shakers. So now you wake up and you see this guy in the back. Like, do I overhear that? Well, so what were you guys doing? You guys were leaving, right? You guys weren't.
And the only the target hears a message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear. You cast spells or solid objects.
Barely gets words. So he attacked me, didn't he? Ottovon just held the spell up. And I do want you to roll a deception check, though, Ottovon.
All right.
You don't have a yeah, you rolled a one. Yeah, I don't think you actually seen him never be anyone here again. He punches the assassin right in the face, and then the dude dodges. I didn't know my contact was going to be Dominion.
So you didn't know that your contact was going to be from the Dominion. You are a piss poor spy. I would suggest finding a different identity. I must have mistaken your name. We're certain there is what is worth. What might your name be?
My name is I hope I'm not forgotten. Hey, Shove. Ottovon, he did or something about the assassin.
You just said you're worthless.
Oh yeah, you just said you're worthless. That's right. So,
Somebody else hiring.
I look at him and go, yeah, sure, buddy. So it occurs to you, Sam, that they clearly had you dress up as somebody else for some reason. They had already been in contact with this guy or his people.
Yeah, this is hard to find.
Somebody else. You paid me to use that name, jackass.
I didn't pay you to use that name. Somebody else may have paid you to use that name, but I had no involvement. I was sent here to meet with someone.
It's getting close because that's you leave right afterwards because you're going to get the health potions you eventually agree to get.
Exactly. So I think it might be right here.
Now, you don't look like a porter's. You look like a fat, overpaid Wilhelmian guard to me. Do you want to sit down? Let me buy you a drink. I'd be happy to see if we can talk our way through this misunderstanding.
Ottovon, give yourself inspiration. I'm loving this. I decided to make a roll for me. See if I buy it or not.
I could roll persuasion.
Oh, you got it, what? Working?
No, I haven't rolled yet. I'm trying to
saying, it's basically Rainbow saying, I don't know Sam would listen to him or not. And then he asked him to see if he persuaded.
yeah, and Ottovon's not going to talk at the top of the stairs. Ottovon's going to tell Sam. It's a bit crowded. How about we find a more secluded section at the back of the bar? Of course, we'll do public to understand why you might be a little bit nervous having survived the ordeal. I was thinking at that back corner. Will.
I say that was okay. You got Count Dracula.
Count Dracula? I sound like Count Dracula. Please, come to be cornered at the bar. I'm going to suck your blood.
The vampire voice and the chipmunk speed that was the best.
Chipmunk speed. I love it.
Okay, so where? Like over here?
One row back. I was in the very back corner. Yep. Okay. That's where I'm trying. That's where I was pointing.
So, on my way back, I want to know if anyone else here is elvish. I want to do a perception thing. If anyone else is human or elvish or what? You can't tell what. No, I'm saying what their races are, not what they can speak. Oh, okay. So, you need to roll for that. There is a half elf, elf, a human, and a half elf. Well, I can see you talking in elvish.
All right, I'll talk to him in Elvish, and I'm going to wave my hands to the waitress.
Okay, so while they're doing that, I whispered to Marina, and I want to tell her about the note I found. As wizards work extra duty to help our patron and deliver information that he had gathered on with help.
Okay, then we'll go over to Sam and Ottovon. What are you guys talking about? I'm going to hand him the note that says username Barris Wordsworth. So, Ottovon, you received
Oh,
the note.
drugs.
It says, the set of instructions says, take everything you have gathered on
What?
Incursion into Wilhelm territory. Transform into
I love it.
What?
Contact at Ottovon.
All right, so I look over this, and has the waitress already brought us?
Yeah, we can go and say, we just came by.
Okay. So I'm going to pull the final report, and I'm going to ask him, is your work?
You have been working with whoever's leaving your instructions in the Dropbox for a while now, and they've been instructing you to use every 6 months or so. The kind you showed out, Sam. You just did the contact recognition by the look. I didn't know my contact was going to be Dominion.
I didn't know that your contact was going to be, because you never should have walked. All that aside, let me get this spotlight. How long did you pose as a Wilhelm guard?
Oh, excuse me. By the way, because you mentioned that there's Dominion insurgency into Wilhelm.
Guys, we're working in Wilhelm. Nobody would know about it. There's not a whisper. Where are you staying?
Where am I staying? Straight in town? 150.
Yeah.
Oh, you tried to kill me.
And I thought you were there afterwards. Get over it.
There it is. Okay. 122.
Okay.
About 200.
You're up in the night. 100 best I'm ever going to be able to give.
European spies were working in Wilhelm. Nobody would know about it. There's not a whisper that happens in the Three Kingdoms that the Dominion doesn't pick up. And secondly, we weren't He's a fun
scheduled
character to
to monitor Wilhelm anytime
I'm just coming
this
for
or
that
last month.
other one.
And so I would be very
What, the
interested.
Dracula
Are you
thing?
going whip
No, I'm
him
trying to find the
anytime
one you
soon?
just gave me.
Oh yeah, it's
I
at
can be if the price is right.
122.00.
Let me talk to my. Let me check some of my channels. I think I might be able to arrange something for 100's the best I'm ever going to be able to get for you.
200.
You're up in the ninth. 100's the best I'm ever going to be able to get for you.
150.
Yeah,
Joel,
that's
you
not
did try to
gonna
kill
happen.
me.
And I bought you a beer afterwards. Get over it. Yeah,
Joel,
that's
you
not
did try
gonna
to kill
happen.
me.
And I bought you a beer afterwards. Get over it.
So it was in a
All right,
place
Rainbow, you
that
get
I
you get
like. No wonder I couldn't
inspiration
find
as
it.
well.
I'll take
I expected
125.
that it to be
Swear
like
it's
right
going to
after
be
we
like
sat
pulling-
down, like him to say, "Well, you tried to kill me." No, it was when we were talking about money, and he tried to use it as justification for extracting a higher price.
That's what reminded me of the health potions, because the reason he was like, after all, you tried to kill me, was because he was talking about wanting compensation and health and stuff. All right, let's
One
see.
of the things I'm enjoying about playing Ottovon's character is he finds assassination such a distasteful field of work. So he's offended whenever anybody brings up like, "Hey, aren't you assassin?" No, I'm not an assassin. What on earth makes you think I'm an assassin?
All right, there you go. Let me get where's Discord. Okay, download. Put it on the soundboard. And turn it yellow. Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
Joel,
that's
you
not
did try to
gonna
kill
happen.
me.
And I bought you a beer afterwards. Get over it.
Nice. Cool. We're gonna have quite a collection of these sound bits.
Yeah, we are. We already do.
So I just
Oh, I'm very excited for next game. I'm not gonna have any visitors at my house, so there's really nothing that I can perceive right now that would be in my way.
See, shiny. I'm excited too.
What?
What?
just
Oh, drugs.
Buzzes are
All right,
pretty good.
enemies.
Do snakes have bones?
Got
That's-
you.
Yes, snakes have bones.
He was probably thinking about sharks. To be fair to Bunsen.
Wait, sharks have bones too, don't they?
No, their skeleton is comprised primarily of cartilage. The only bone they have in their bodies is in their teeth, but those are teeth.
Gotcha. Well, the teeth is what made me
That's
feel like they
why
did.
that's why megalodon is such a hard thing to calculate because we don't have any megalodon skeletons. The only way that they can calculate the size of megalodon is through the teeth.
Thanks for laughing at my tears.
You're welcome.
I
That's my fetish.
I am.
love it when they cry.
Maybe not what I wanted to
Oh,
come
Yo, I rock the
hi,
fucking-
Bunsen.
Come back. Like, that's my fetish. I like it when they cry.
There's a few other sound bites that would be fun to snag, like
And there's a kitty.
like Calypso in I think it was episode 2 or episode 3 when she's like, "Yeah, I can see in the dark. It's 'cause I'm a demon."
I just want one of you doing your evil voice.
Oh yeah. Well, the first instance that it broke out was, of course, when Gimna was going to go march up north towards her own death. But I thought that a much more fun use of it was when Gimna smacked Calypso and then refused to apologize, and Calypso threw a tantrum in the little Mario Goblin tavern.
Thank you for the gummies, Daddy.
That was fun. Who does she think she is? I will eat her soul.
You know who that one is?
Which one? Dakota. Yeah. Take Miriam's voice or Mirima's voice, raise it an octave and a half, and you end up with Dakota.
Oh my wa shenderi nani?
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. Like, I'm very excited for next Sunday. I'm very excited to see because I have a feel like obviously they're going to have to flee somewhere. I mean, they can't stay underground where they're getting flooded.
Mhm.
Uh, and so it'll be interesting to see where everybody ends up and where they go from there.
They will.
I mean, I could totally see Iba
For the
Istakawa
love of
ending
God,
up back in
wash your
Wilhelm
funky
and
ass.
being like, I was at the craziest party.
There's so much that we can do with this extra content too. I think we should do a one shot soon. A total improv, start from nothing, don't prepare anything, just do like an improv game. I've always wanted to try that and see what happens.
All right.
Wash your
I'm
funky
down,
ass.
but we need one other person.
You don't want to just do it with two
Somebody,
people?
you know who'd be really fun for that? Who just rolls with the punches like crazy?
Hmm.
Deranged. Deranged will roll with anything. He would be a blast for a situation like that.
Why couldn't we do some stuff like we just did today?
Um, because, well, I mean, we could. Just the difference is that you had already had the participation of other people. There was a scenario already built where, you know, I don't know. I'm just there probably is no reason. I'm just with something complete improv with no structure built in. A second player helps, like because if I'm drawing a blank on what to do, at least there's a slight chance that I can just defer to the other side and they'll take the ball and run with it for a second. And they'll be like, oh, okay, I can
But
respond that way too.
okay, so it's okay for us to have long pauses. When I edit these, I remove those. So like
True.
we can have a whole totally different experience and take our time. Like today, like we paused and like retconned some stuff and changed stuff because it was just the two of us. We weren't holding anybody else up.
True. That is true. Are you? What do you have in mind? Something like the Christmas special that's like a mesh
Yeah, that's
of.
that's why I like this. Is I feel like I could go at my own pace for the improv because it's just you. When it's more than you, then that becomes a stress and it's harder. So I want to try that like in our little like test lab. That's what I was thinking.
I see. Okay, I'm down.
I mean, I'm not opposed to doing stuff, with like just a couple people. Also, that does sound fun, but that's a different experience than what I was thinking of.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm totally down for that. And
Wash
then
your funky ass.
I do think it might be time for some redemption for Havabir. Oh, except for Sakapuno's not going to probably not going to be voiced anytime soon.
That's the other thing that you brought up is like there's stuff already there. Well, we can do stuff like with Hava Beer where there's stuff already there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff to do. There's so much fleshing out and generation of material that can happen. I think that I mean we're already among Echoverse, TNT with Bunsen's blessing, and Solstice. There is so much just there's so much content that can be generated. I mean, it would be interesting to explore Calypso's Bard School,
It'd be
explore
fun to have
Gimna's
our own
Village.
like wiki and our like a with disadvantage wiki and just start compiling all the information while it's still feasible to gather it all up from the beginning and then keep adding to it.
Yeah, I mean, it would, and it's possible. Content generation can be a lot of work, but once you've created a place, and I discovered this with Myth Nantar, it pays off in spades because you can use it again and again and again.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's already built. You build something for future use.
Right.
And Myth Nantar was kind of a hybrid. Like it is proper D&D canon, but I made it my own.
It's true. I've done the same thing. I did the same thing with the Sword Coast. It just became my own thing instead of, which is weird to some people because like when I was at those Gamers Inn things and they're like, "Oh, where does your campaign take place?" And I like said the Sword Coast, but and they're like, "Oh, where on the Sword Coast?" They're like talking about all this stuff. I'm like, "Oh, well." I just stole a couple names from from the lore. I didn't really actually get to know all the lore.
Yeah. And it'd be fun to do. It'd be fun to do that in person. Add a few drinks and a hookah, and I mean, shit, you're set for the next 10 hours.
Oh, drugs.
No, Bunsen. Shisha is not a drug. It's just tobacco. And I
What?
just, yeah, just tobacco. If you can believe that.
Oh,
Soaked in
drugs.
molasses. No, molasses is not a drug either.
I mean,
No, it is not our enemy.
she did what?
THC job.
Oh, drugs.
Oh my gosh, that kind of reminded me of a Joe Pesci phone call. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so. Oh, the
Where they,
soundboard.
yeah, where they do the soundboard on a phone call and get
That's
the other
right.
side all pissed off.
And I found a shiny top in a dusty old chest.
So, what's the mixture today? As I look at the red stuff that he was looking at.
And so, what he's working on?
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Oh,
he turns to
about
you
three
and he
parts
just says,
vodka,
I'm
2 parts
trying
Jack.
something new. I think I've found a potion that can be mixed with water and will regrow small appendages.
Small appendages.
Penises
Like a
grow
Yes.
more
penis.
You
instantly.
just bathe in the water and it will regrow appendages. It's still in beta though. I'm not ready to release it to the public.
It's still in
Oh,
beta.
so regrow fingers then.
What do you say?
Yeah.
So
Well, it
regrow
is
things like
freaking
lost fingers
midnight,
then.
and my
Indeed,
son
indeed, that's the
is
idea.
definitely gonna
Sounds
wake up
useful.
at least
Let me
once
know if
before the
that
night's
works
over,
out.
so I better hit the safe.
Let me
I
scratch
said, let
that.
me know if that works out.
Are you talking? I couldn't tell if you were in the recording or.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was saying that it's midnight,
Oh, okay.
and little boy, my baby is gonna wake up at least once between now and his regular wake up time of 7:15. So I better get some shut eye, or I'm gonna be hating life tomorrow.
No worries. It was nice to be able to chill with you that long, though.
Yeah, it was. It was nice to get all the way through that. Check it out. 2 projects. The makeup for Ottovon and the theme song for TNT
Oh
knocked
my
out
god.
within.
That theme song is so good.
Oh my gosh, it was so much fun to
It's
create.
so awful and so great at the same time.
I think it's a
I love
conglomerate
that
of
Bunsen
music.
hated it just as much as we thought he would.
Oh, no surprise, no surprise whatsoever. I mean, he is a straight laced dude, and so for something that wacky to be like the introduction to his campaign, I could see this being the stuff of his nightmares.
It really is.
I think I cringe a little bit more at my own voice when I hear it.
I love it.
Sit back, my friends, and I'll sing you a tale of slimies and demons and dwarves wielding flails. A story of the most famous bard in the land, assisted by a blob and Grandmother Grant.
It's
On
Gimna.
them the fate of the free world depends. You're listening to Calypso and Friends.
It's Tomes and Toils.
Sorry, Grandma. You're listening to Tomes and Toils.
All right, can we go now?
Nobody asked you to stay.
It's so good. I love it so much.
It was fun to build. I love little projects like that. We'll have to come up with something good. And I genuinely enjoy building off of stuff that is going on and contributing it to to the later part. Like
Yeah.
that dialogue in Trilesta.
Oh man.
Wait. Oh, what happened? Well, sire, you know his methodology is a bit unorthodox. Well, he was summoning his hand, like he does, dressing up in feathers and pretending to be a bird. The hand had held him in the air. And I
What?
just, well, we found him embedded in about 3 feet of dirt. It looked like he'd taken quite a nasty fall. Fall, you say? An accident? Well, we did find a note stuck to his forehead that said, a foolish bird held up by a hand. I slapped it and brought it back down to land. I
What are
believe
you
he was
reciting?
assassinated. That dialogue I sent to you earlier today.
Oh,
I'm
I
going
didn't
off
see
of
it.
memory.
Gotcha.
You didn't see it? Are you kidding me? You
You
responded to it.
Did you send me a document?
No, not document, a dialogue.
I don't see a dialogue.
It's in the chat
In Discord or in
and
our chat?
in our chat on Google,
Oh.
and it's up a ways.
I'm just tired,
And
probably. I'm sure I'll remember if I see it.
yeah, it's about and you even addressed it because it was about a hobbit or a halfling that was using the mage hand to suspend himself in the air,
Oh yeah, that's right. I do remember now.
and then he fell to his death.
Yeah.
And I forget his name. I even gave him a name. Like I tried to build this to be a fun dialogue because I always thought the like when you describe that trick, yes,
Mhm.
in the Discord chat, I thought that is such a good idea, but it could be foiled so easy, and if it was foiled, it would be very dangerous. And so I wanted to you know, explore
Mhm.
that. But see, I wish I remembered his name because I came up with a good halfling name, in my opinion. I mean, someone might disagree that it was good, but oh, it was from yesterday. That's why I can't find it. I'm almost as invested into Solstice as you are. Like, I haven't been this excited about a campaign for a long time.
Almost as. I think no one can compete with you, man.
Oh yeah,
I think you're more
I,
invested than anyone.
I appreciate it. Comes pretty natural. I I don't know if it's a pride thing with me or what it is, but I take the role playing very seriously and really get into it. And maybe it's because I'm such an extrovert that I don't mind like people listening to me singing in a falsetto for a minute and a half straight, or
I think it's so good. I think that anybody who can't suffer through it doesn't deserve to listen to our show.
I would have to agree. And there's always the scroll button. Or the speech
Yes.
button. Here it is. The king. I'll read the dialogue. And what news to the east? Wilhelm continues to grow uneasy, sire. And the developments of the wall? Unknown at present. Hilben has been killed, and we are currently searching for a replacement to pick up surveillance.
Dude, your voices are amazing right now. What the hell?
Hilben killed? How? Well, Hilben, as you know, had developed the most unorthodox methods. They appear to have proved to be his undoing. How, pray tell? Well, liege, as of late, he would dress up as a bird and conjure his floating hand to hold him up in the air. His body was recovered after an apparent fall. Accident? Not exactly, sire. This note was recovered from his body. It reads, My hand struck his floating hand, and returned this halfling bird to land. Signed, Caliph. An assassin. I'm afraid so, sire. Dominion? Well, to be fair, I think that's an unfair assumption. I mean, not everything nefarious going on in the Three Kingdoms is Dominion related. Let's try not to be prejudicial. Poor Hilbin.
I like it, dude.
Yeah, I have a good time with it. I have a good
I
time with
can
all this
tell.
shit. So, all right, for real, I'm gonna hit the sack. I'll talk to you tomorrow, man.
All right, man. Have a good night.
You too.
See ya.